You know, 2 weeks ago, I gave a homily telling us all to slow down and to focus on what's important in the season. And I have to admit, I've tried to slow down myself, but let's be honest, it is busy out there, is it not? And on Friday, this past Friday, I had committed a few months ago to go down to the border to do some work with some wonderful people. And I have to admit, when I woke up on Friday, I thought, why did I say yes to going? Because you know when you look at your schedule and you think you have so many other things to do, but I said, I committed, I'm going to go. And you know, Friday I had school confessions, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and after I hopped in my car and I picked my dad up in Harbor City, and as soon as I get in the house, my mom has a list of instructions for me to watch out for my dad, right? Make sure he's taking his medicine, all these different things. I said, I got it, Mom, right? And we get in the car, and God was so good to us. We were driving down to Calexico, right, which is the border town with Mexicali. And we got there, hardly any traffic, right? And I was sitting there driving with my dad, and I thought, I have a lot of things to do back at Holy Family. But as soon as I got there and I met the wonderful people I was with, I felt so honored to have been invited. And it reminded me that sometimes it's those invitations that put us out of our comfort zone. That's exactly where God wants us to be, correct? So we started Friday evening and we went to a cemetery and we prayed over these bodies that had been buried of the unknown migrants who died trying to come to the United States. And we were praying together as a group, and my dad looked at me and he said, some of your old family crossed through Mexicali. That could have been us, And we got quiet, and as a group we prayed, and I was deeply touched by the people's faith that were in this group. And we had a lovely dinner, and then on Saturday, yesterday, we walked across the border, and it was really like a scene from a comedy. We're all wheeling like 3 suitcases, right? And we're crossing the border, and we get to this wonderful place that serves God's people. And let me tell you, we hear the song Joy to the World a lot. Those people over there had joy that I needed to see, because we are spoiled in this country, right on? We are so blessed in the United States. And to see the joy of these people who were so grateful for the most simple things that we often take for granted, and to watch the kids hit this piñata, right? And there were mariachis there. And I came back last night in Holy Family and I thought, I needed this. I needed to see the joy of Jesus in these beautiful people who fled their homeland just seeking a better life. So my dear friends, God got me out of my routine and my schedule and blessed me with this opportunity. And that's what our gospel is calling us all today to do. To wake up a little bit, to look around us, and not focus on ourselves or focus so much on our families who already have so much. But John the Baptist is telling us to give back and to help those in need. And isn't that exactly what we're supposed to do every day? To open our eyes and say, God, I have been blessed so much. It's now my turn to bless those around me. That is what will give us joy. It doesn't matter about the gifts that we open on Christmas Day, all those material gifts. It's about us being a gift to one another. And that's where the true joy comes, my friend, in helping those in need. So on this 3rd Sunday of Advent, we're paused to focus on joy. But what really brings us joy? It's about helping the most vulnerable and sharing the gift of who you are to those who need it the most. So we go through Advent and Christmas and we haven't lived out the gospel to help those in need, we're missing the point. We look over there, our giving tree still has tags on it. I know after this Mass there won't be a tag left, right? No guilt or anything. I'll be watching, though. You know, we have to help those in need, because if we don't help those in need, we're failing as disciples. And it's just doing small things well. You know, some of our kids here in middle school made blankets that we brought over there. That gives us joy that we'll never imagine. You know, often something that keeps us from joy as well is loving the wrong things. We're so materialistic, right? Even the food we eat. They served us this lunch yesterday that was from the heart, right? And is it going to win any culinary awards? Probably not. But to see the joy in their faces of feeding us Americans, it was beautiful to see, you know? So oftentimes we associate happiness with material objects. But can you imagine if you taught your kids, it's not about the price of the gift, but it's about how we as a family can help those in need instead. So my dear friends, on this third Sunday of Advent, we hear what brings us true joy. And what true joy for a disciple of Christ, joy comes through service and through love and through generosity. You know, when I got back last night, my dad had already texted me the time I dropped him off to get back to Holy Family. He says, what can we do to sign up again next year, right? So my challenge to all of us as a parish is, what can we do to live the gospel out, to help those in need? There's so many people around us. Maybe it's a family member that needs you. Maybe it's just your smile or your phone call, but we all need to do our part. So that is the joy of the gospel, and that is the joy that John the Baptist wants all of us to encounter, which is not to be so focused on ourselves, but a service. The life of a disciple is one of service, and that is where your true happiness comes. So I'm forever grateful for this experience, and I was honored I went, and God humbled me once again because he said, I took care of your calendar, did I not? But we're so stuck in our ways sometimes, myself included. Father Gerald took care of everything. The parish is fine. So my dear friends, we have 10 days to go until Christmas. Have you answered the call yet to help the most vulnerable around us? And let's really reflect upon that right now. How have you spent Advent so far? Focused on buying gifts for your family, or rather focused on living out the gospel, is what Jesus is asking us to do today. So how can you bring the true joy of Jesus to our culture that needs it so very much? So in other words, how can you wake up today and help somebody that needs you the most? So let's reflect upon that right now. How are you going to live out this gospel and help somebody or a group in need?